All right, I think we're live. I did this that first time. It gave me this thing saying couldn't connect to the channel. I don't know if there's something weird going on today, but it was giving me this weird shit. And the stream was there, but it was giving me error messages over here, and it had the start stream on there, like it wasn't working. So I just reconnected to Twitch to make sure everything was working fine. Obviously, this is not our map that we're going to use today. Um, no, thank you, scam likely. But we went ahead and messed with setting this up so that everything works right. And, as I was saying before last week, I was complaining a lot. I had gotten an XP Pen Deco Pro with Bluetooth, and I was connected wired. I wasn't even trying the Bluetooth, and what was happening was the pen tablet was really seriously misbehaving. Now this new one, I'm going to bring this over here. This new one, the XP pen had what, four on the bottom, four up top. So this is giving me more keys. But the issues I was having was like Control Z, which is delete in or undo in almost every artist program, right? Including this, Control Z on our keyboard works, but it wasn't working on there. I had to actually set up two soft keys down here, or two hard keys. So I did Control here and then Z here, and that's how I had to delete. The double clicking with the pen itself, there was no speed to make it work right. Um, but we ended up picking this up. That thing cost us what, $140. This thing cost me, well, it was 69 minus a 15% coupon on Amazon, um, plus the tax. So it still ended up being like 65, $68. Saved me almost $80 to pick this up. And this gives me, I'm not worried about these keys yet. I'm going to use mostly these, but this was the problem. Um, the zoom ring wasn't working. The Control Z on a single key wouldn't work. Double click wasn't working right. Now we have this, and it actually, you can adjust brush size, set it to scroll, and zoom in and out, and the wheel works. And it's not a wheel; it's a touch wheel, kind of like you have on the Wacom. But yeah, it was driving me nuts that that thing would not work properly, especially for the cash we put out. So I ordered this. I tested it this morning, and like, let's go ahead here. Let's undo. All right, so look, I can make it. Now, granted, it's not as quick as using the mouse, but I don't have to mess with. I don't have to mess with touching the mouse to zoom. Um, Morning, Tiny. I don't have to mess with, like here, if we have the brush, I could do adjust brush size, the wheels working. Before I had to go in and do the adjust sizes. Still on the mouse, even though we had that big spinny wheel on the other one. Everything is just working. And if we do this, now let's tell you what, let's do this. Before, if we would put stuff down, we had to push two buttons. Now, undo just freaking works. So I don't get it. Maybe there's something with the driver that just makes this shit work. I I guess you see that I put up a couple of different emotes this weekend too. But the fact that this thing just worked out of the box for less money, I've got that thing sitting out there packaged to go. I'll probably, when I drop my daughter off at 1, I'm going to cut the stream, stop and then run by the place where I have to drop it off, then come back and start the stream again. And the stream will just be split into 2 streams today. I don't even care. I just want that thing out of my life. And it's crazy because like my graphic tablet, the graphic display tablet's an XP pen. It works well. The problem is, colors don't really match and stuff like that. But, we're going to go with what works. Curious. I'm just going to check. So I'm going to leave that alone. I've got a new automated Twitter announcement. Yeah, I mean it's not like a turning off or anything. I'm not even going to put the be right back screen on. I'm just going to stop and then come back. It'll just be a split stream. It's all fine. But you know, it's crazy how excited you can get over something stupid like a fucking pen tablet. At least I get excited over it. So let's go back into Phandelver. I tell you what, I also did this weekend, Tiny. I set up a second OBS profile that offline, if I'm doing some stuff, I can actually set up and create a time lapse of work that I'm doing offline. And that stuff I'm going to throw on the YouTube channel. And I'll probably start kicking my streams up to YouTube from here the day after. Um, but we're gonna stick with this. I don't know what they did, but I'm looking at like the viewer rewards channel, right? Or for channel points. And I'm noticing that I don't know what they did, but like for tier 1, I've got 4 open slots for emotes for tier 1 on the subs. I did set up 2 animated tier 1 sub emotes. And I'm gonna show you this. It's gonna get y'all excited, I'm sure. But I have not done an emote in a while. So here we go. So we added these. Let's make it work. So we've got those now. And I need to add a bunch more. Of course, Jelly's going to be one of the animated emotes. Because it's always going to be about Jelly. Oh, shit. I always have to remember that now that we have the zoom wheel working, I got to remember to go into, let's click on this. There we go. The zoom wheel will work on every screen. So I got to make sure I'm active in this screen. And I'm curious, what is this set to? Mouse right button? Well, no, I did set up, I need to fix this. So this needs to be double click left in case the lines aren't working. So now I've got this set, so like double clicks left. And I'm pretty sure we're not going to have to worry about that anymore. I'm going to draw something on here just for the fuck of it. And you know, before when we were working with that other tablet, you know, if I would do a path and I plan to stop here, if I double clicked, it wouldn't stop. So I actually set a right double click on one of the pen tablet things. Yeah, I am getting scruffy. Um, but now all of this stuff is working right. You know, I was able to hit one button right there and do my deletes on those sections. And if you hit escape, it doesn't stop the line, it gets out of it. So let me take a look at the pen tablet here. It actually just, in this program, it just kills whatever you're doing. So let's say I go here and I want to go there. I hit escape. See, it escapes the tool altogether. And you don't want that to happen. But you have to remember, like, this is an artist program that somebody put together using the Godot game engine or programming engine. So enter will do it too, but you know, I would just have to set a key here to do enter, where it's easier just to have, you know, either double click or, you know, right here, go click with double click, and that automatically seals the line. So if I go like, let's say I go like there and I hit that double click, it ends the line right on my pen. And that's what I'm going to keep it, you know, like we have this so we can move around while we're zoomed in. Everything's set up the way we had it, and it's working fine. Here's the beauty of it. I'm going to show you this thing. See, the other one had 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top. Now, this program doesn't have as many things as you would need in a regular art program, but it gives me these 12 hard buttons. And then up here, each one of these, if I turn it on, those are soft keys. I could set up each one of these so that they also do a function. So you've got 12 plus 16, 28 possible buttons that you can set up, which if you're using an art program like Clip Studio Paint, I can see you maybe needing all of those. Maybe not, just depends on how you work. But this thing just gives you a lot of options. I mean, I have these turned off right now, so I don't tap them by accident on top of the thing. But yeah, it's I'm gonna go ahead and you know, just be happy everything's working well. Yeah, it can, but like I said, there are only certain shortcuts that I use. Shift is one of them. Um, you know, undo is one. Um, you know, the middle mouse is important for scrolling around on your map. But you know, as I find different stuff that I want to mess with, then we'll worry about it. All right. And I'll probably worry about it more because I do plan to go in. I think I'm so there are two things I need to do. I need to possibly get set up for Photoshop, and all I need is Photoshop. So I'm going to do the photographer's plan. What is it, 9.99 a month, and use that for a little while, because I need that to set up textures and stuff that I want to build out for using maps. Have my own textures. Now, as far as assets, I'm probably going to build the assets inside of Clip Studio Paint because I'm familiar with that. But Photoshop I'm familiar with if it comes to stuff like editing a picture, which I haven't even done that on Photoshop in such a long time. It's going to be different, but that has that actually has some capabilities that I need to make textures. So, or seamless tiles actually. But I'm going to do that. I mean, my plan is to start making my own tiles and assets. Usually use it on what? Well, see, if you use Photoshop as a drawing program, um, for like the stuff that I need to do, I need to use Photoshop because it has stuff built in now for creating seamless textures. And there's a lot of stuff in there that is usable for something that you're using to create for art programs or mapping. But honestly, the best one for if you're just drawing, if I can figure out how to get the seamless backgrounds to do, um, then I would probably opt to use Clip Studio Paint for everything. And if I can figure out how to make the seamless backgrounds work inside of there, then I'll use that. I mean, I really do like Clip Studio. There's supposed to be there's supposed to be a fucking I dropped a where the fuck is it? I dropped a fireplace in here last week. I dropped a fireplace. Where's the fucking fireplace? I bet it's not even in my used. If it is, then I need to know where that bitch went. So now that's weird. Oh, I know why. Fucking Windows Ink. You got to turn that off with this program. I bet it'll work now. There. Yeah, the fireplace isn't even here. Look at that. I was really close. I got this one because I didn't want to spend a shit ton of money again and then have to worry about being pissed off like I did with the XP pen. But Huion actually makes another tablet that Most of your keyboard strokes for your graphics program are on the left side of your keyboard. And they make one that has that left side of the keyboard built into the tablet. So, it'd just be like you're using your keyboard without having to reach over. It'd all be right here, all of your strokes. But that was another like $140 tablet. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. All right. So, where the hell? I don't get it. Okay. My fireplaces aren't here. I'm going to reload this. No idea. It's really fucked up. See, we have stuff like our fireplace grates. We have some of them. I'm just gonna have to. Guess I'm just gonna have to use what I have. I think I know what the dealio is. I pulled off a set of assets, and those are probably where they are. So we're just gonna go with like this. All right, so we're gonna want the wood to match our wall. We need this to be on layer 2. Snap the grid off. I think we're gonna manually place this thing. Yeah, compare levels on. Pretty sure it's. Can't live with this thing being askew. No matter how much of a dive this place is. This thing's acting really gimpy today. I think I am going to set. So I was used to this key. Being the control key. See if that works. I think I'm going to have to reload this again. Oliver, thank you for the follow. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you're having an awesome day. So let's reopen this. Everything was working perfectly this weekend. And last week. All right, compare levels. I think I'm going to restart this program altogether. Oh, look at that. It doesn't even want to close. It is pissed off at me right now. Oh, shit. I know why. Let's take a look again. No, that's not doing it. We're going to restart. Dungeon draft. Hopefully that resolves our issue. What I'm hoping is that some of the problems that were created by the Godot updates that the developers had get fixed so that we don't have as many issues as we've been having with Dungeon Draft lately. I mean, I've gone back to earlier versions to try to fix some of the crap that it's doing. But I'm afraid to do that with an existing map. So we'll wait for Tricky Vampire to load. I think I had less trouble with version 3.1. I can safely go back to that. But we'll see. We could have had this map done a good bit ago if we mapped it out the way we normally have mapped out in the past all of our maps. But we're trying to take advantage of all the different things you can do inside of Foundry, our virtual tabletop that we use, which I'm getting ready to load that up right now while we're waiting. And it does add to the complexity of the maps, but when it works right, it's worth it. See, now it's going to work. See, when it's coming up with that see-through box, then you've got some serious problems. But now everything's working fine. So there's our first floor. Let's compare levels to our roof. And we want to make sure that this is in line with our chimney there. And we may go in because it looks like, well, it looks like the stone is different and we don't want that. So let's pull our fireplace here again. So what do we have? We've got it's really an off-color stone, isn't it? Does that match? Yeah, that's the one we need. That color. Now we need the wood to match. So we're going to drop this here. Oh, I need a delete key set up on here. On my tablet. think we'll do... So I think I want to make a change to this. So dungeon draft. I want this one to be delete. And I want this one to be escape. Shit. I keep doing that. You didn't see what I did, but I keep closing it out instead of, making sure that I have what I want. Delete. This one I need to be control. So this I want to let's escape. I want to delete that. And let's get our pen working. Did I not set that up as a double click? Left double click. All right. That there. That takes care of our parallel. And that's centered up on the chimney. You never see it once you're inside, but it doesn't matter. XR Rock, how's it going? I can show you what we've got so far. So right now we're working on, this is basically laying down first floor maps, first floor levels, but this is what we spent a good chunk of last week on, was building out the town. And then each of these zones are where we're placing our explorable zones on the map. If I bring over Dungeon Draft, let's see. So, I mean, this is how it'll work, where, our character, if he's outside the building, he'll see the roof, but once he goes in, the roof will go away and they can explore the building. And this is utilizing a thing called levels inside of Dungeon Draft. So right now, we just need to get set up so that all of this stuff works. And we have to set up our line of sight and our walls. When I brought this in, I didn't bring in the walls. So we've gotten a good bit done, and a lot is coming down to, actually testing that all of this stuff is working right. Well, here's the thing. You got to remember with Phandalin, none of this stuff is explorable in the description of Lost Mine of Phandelver. So what we're doing is creating the town of Phandalin so that we have the named buildings the Smithy, the inn that we stay at, Sister, whatever freaking name is. All these buildings will be set up so you can go in and your characters on your virtual tabletop are going to be able to go in and interact with whoever's in there. Be able to set up which I'm not going to set the encounters up on the map. I'm going to leave that up to the DMs. When I use this for my own game, when I set it up, I'll have the potential encounter set up for the Red Brand Ruffians here. In this, which we're getting ready to redecorate this because of the way that I built this the first time. All of these roofs that disappear. This was the mistake that I made. Instead of setting up individual tiles for every building, if you watch, when I go in here, see that roof goes away, but see this roof here? I'm going to go in again. All roofs go away, and it shouldn't be doing that. So I'm going to have to create it so it's all individual tiles that I'll place on the map, and then I'll export it as a module that's usable if somebody wants to run Lost Mine. And then these buildings here, these are just unnamed buildings. I'm not worried about if we've got a group of thieves that want to assault every building and kill everybody in them. That's the DM's problem. The named buildings that you can go in and do RP in is what we're worried about setting up to be playable. When I did this the first time, I had a wall going across here and like a wall splitting. I totally forgot that the roof has a chimney there, so I need that so I can I needed that fireplace. So I realized that I wanted to redo this so the thing was built properly. And then when I saw the error that I made, where that I need to create individual tiles and then stack these things up on the map once it's inside of Foundry, that'll make a huge difference to how the exploration works. I mean, if these were houses side by side, you could go in and all the roofs popped off, it wouldn't look right. But if it's set up so that when you go in this building, you look out the window, the building next door, you still see that roof there, that it's a house or whatever it is, that'll make it look a lot better. So we have a ton of work in this map so far. Some because my wife's texting me. I forgot what I was getting ready to say. But we're going to go ahead and rebuild this building so that everything works properly. So now I need to compare it to the ground to see where I placed the entrance or the walkway. So we'll do that here. It was a little more important. Well, I mean, it's still important, but where all this stuff was kind of made a determination to where we were placing some stuff. But we need to place windows and doors in the building now. See, I was trying to be lazy and just do one big tile I could place. And I kind of knew when I was doing it, it was the wrong approach to take. And now we're not going to do that. And we even have like some of these buildings are two-floored buildings. We have it set so that we'll have each individual floor set up and working properly. I don't know. I get too wrapped up in decorating buildings, so we'll see how far we get today. I have a feeling we'll get this done, the Smithy shop, maybe the nun or whatever it is that's here for the Shrine of Luck. We'll get those done, and then we'll have to start working on the in and other stuff later. Because I'm very slow when it comes to getting some of this stuff done. I get very wrapped up in details, and I probably shouldn't, but I do. All right, so we need portals. Um, let's see. It is so nice having the scroll wheel working. I spent half of my streams last week complaining because I replaced. Here's the thing: I had a graphics tablet, a graphic display tablet, which is nice. The colors are a little bit off, and it's a 15-inch screen, which isn't horrible. But the older you get, the more you want to use a big ass screen, right? So I've got a 28-inch 4K monitor that you're seeing, and I'm using the draw. It makes it a lot easier to see everything. So I went back to using a pen tablet that doesn't have a display on it. And the other reason I wanted to do it is I have a real tendency, once I get using a graphics display tablet, you're always looking down like this, and then I start coming in. And you get the end of the day, your back hurts. This way I can sit up like I'm using a mouse and still sketch on here, like I used to when I had a 2013 Wacom Pro, which doesn't really like to play nice with a lot of the stuff that I use now. So I got an XP Pen Deco Pro. That thing gave me hell all last week, and I picked up a Huion. What is this? HS610, and this thing worked perfect out of the box. So I'm like, save me money. It works awesome. But now I can sit here with better posture and do the work that I want to do and have everything work properly. You know, it's crazy when things don't work properly. I know I've got windows here. I think my selection of windows is pretty slim though. And these are the old assets that I don't like. Oh, I'm missing it. Hey, Enforcer Round. It's doing great today. How are you doing? I was just talking about I replaced my pen tablet I got last week with a new one, and this, I'm able to scroll without having a mouse, and all the controls are working the way they're supposed to. So I'm like tickled pink over this. I know what I did. I removed some assets that. All right, I tell you what. Let's get the doors in first. And I took those assets out for a reason. Well, I mean, once you go to using like a god, players aren't going to be able to do anything about it. You got to remember that. They can kill a genie, but in all honesty, there should not be a point in game when the players are able to kill like a god. Because just imagine, they killed a goddess of death. Nobody dies anymore, so, that becomes really problematic for the world that you're in. I need a door handle on both sides. I don't think that's being unreasonable. So let's just put a standard door here, like that. Can we get it to snap? Yeah, that works. I want it right on the square there. And then we're going to have, I think I'm going to put the door here. And we'll make the bar come out a little bit longer than we did before because this will just be one big common area. Um, for all the tables that we're going to put in. And then we can do this. Let's see, light tool, range. Let's see, how do we want this? We want this to go under. So we don't want it to be all in there. And there's got to be a way. We need the shadows off. Intensity range. See, it won't let me put it on a layer, which is a little bit of a problem. Let's see if we have a light anywhere in here. There we go. That's what we need. So we want this like that. Let's do that. Well, especially if we're talking like, you're making the goddess of death, right? And it becomes extremely problematic if your characters eliminate death. Then nobody's dying. Even if they're like all torn up, all these commoners and shit are going to be totally, totally fucked. That was like the whole, killing the, death not being a thing anymore was what? Tomb of Annihilation? And that was a totally fucked up world. So, yeah, it's one of those things I feel like you really, really want to stay away from the potential where they think they can or might be able to, kill the goddess of or god of death. Let's see. So we're going to start off by so we're going to pick some clouds, and the reason we're going to do this will make sense once we start doing it. We want this to be basically black, and then we want the opacity. We want this to be what? User layer 2. We want to take that opacity down a lot. I think we still want to take it down more than that. We need the shadow off. Take it down even more. About like that. Accept. So I want it somewhere between those two. So And what we're trying to do is give it this, this is supposed to be a rundown. Rundown building. And we want the floor to look like it's nicely stained up. And I think we're going to, I mean, a cleric would make sense. You just have to think about the motivation of why, whoever is doing this is doing it. So, I mean, that's your first thing to worry about. What's their motivation? So there, that's a pretty grungy floor. Now, I'm going to create a couple more. Take the opacity up just a little bit. And let's have some subtle blood stains coming through here. All right, now where did my light go? Oh, we turned the lighting off, so the light's still there. That's fine. Need to select that. Let's take the intensity down just a little bit. And make it just a little bit bigger. I mean, that might work because that gives you the ability. I mean, you would still have to set crazy stats, but let's say the characters get lucky and kill the mortal body, the god will still be there. But you know what I mean? Anytime you kill a god, things become extremely problematic for the world in which you're running. All right. So that sets that up. Let's get back to this tool. See, now the floor doesn't look so homogeneous, where it's just all clean. And it's like, yeah, this place is way too clean for the description of this grungy, rundown piece of crap place. And it's got to be a grungy, rundown piece of crap place because that's what it says. Now, I believe we have another pattern tool that I want to use. I just need to find it. Let's see. Grid square. Wood damage overlay. I think this is what I want. Let's see how this goes. And I believe I'm going to have to rotate this to make it work. Because if you watch, the damage is not going to go with the grain, which is, where your damage is going to be. Filter. What we need are the patterns. I'm going to put this on user layer 3, and then we can adjust it. Easier. And see it easier. There we go. That's a little too much damage, I think. Let's get rid of that. I really just want it to be... Come on. Need something subtle. None of that is subtle. That might work. So let's get a rotation. It's going to be a little less than 90. I think that was like 86 degrees. $84.3. Let's see if we can get this to work on the first drop. So we want to move this to user layer 2. And then we want to do this. Just make it a little more subtle. Now we need lights, layers all. Let's get this back where it belongs. Let's take a look and see how this looks. See, now the floor is looking like a really crappy bar. That's what this place is. This place is the definition of a dive bar. Now we need a path tool. We need our bar. All right. Sure, a rusty bar. Now, here's the thing. All right, we need this on user layer 2. See, there's some problem there. We need this to be not affected. by that. So I think to make it straight, I'm going to lay the bar down on top of the wall, and then we're going to pop that over. And I think I'm just going to have this come out as a straight bar without a curve back, without a turn back. So let's zoom in a bit. We're going to put this on layer 3. And I think we're going to bring it over to here. So that to there. So we want to pick up this path. So we don't want objects. We don't want patterns for sure. See, now it's picking up the wall. It doesn't want to pick this path up. I'm curious what's going on. We're going to eyeball it. Let's see if it'll let me select this path. See, it's not. That's weird. It's fine. It'll be fine like that. Let's see if it behaves. I shouldn't have to do this. See, now it'll let me pick the path up. Bizarre. So, like I said, this is kind of one of the reasons I'm really contemplating moving over to doing everything inside Clip Studio Paint. All right, so we need corner. And we need corner. All right, so up there I created something weird. Now we'll go in and hopefully it'll let me select. So we need to delete 1 point. That takes care of that. And then this, we want this to be even with the floor here. That looks roughly 90 degrees, way roughly. Yeah, that's it. Because now we're parallel there, we're parallel here, we're good. We'll lay some barrels down. Put that on user layer 2. And let's adjust our brush size. Do our wine bottles. No, they're not going to have a full wine rack. They're going to have a partial wine rack. I think we can allow our scale to be at 1 here. Close to it. We're going to drop it there. We'll have to fix that. Filter objects. We don't want to touch our path. It's just a smidge off. There we go. So that's got that stuff. Tables. Now we need some tables for in here. Which, tell you what, we can get a little more creative with how we want these tables in here. No, I don't want the tables to match the floor color. But we do want this stuff to look nasty. So we'll put like a big table over here. And let's place some small ones around the room. Look at there. There. See, we're making an error here because we don't like these shadows to be dropped. We want to drop our own shadows. So we're going to go in here. There we go. Object. Shadow off. I know it's flat without a shadow, but our plan is to create our own shadows on this. This we need to take down to proper size. And we're going to place two different kinds of stools in here. Ooh, I tell you what we can do. Let's do this. We're going to randomize. Oh, that's why it's not letting me randomize. So let's see what looks nasty. Two under. Yeah, that'll work. And then we want to go here. Get some a little bit darker. Like that. We're just going to drop some chairs and we'll move stuff around. So we've got 4 for there. 4 for there. Can add 1 more there. Now we're just going to go in and select each one of these things. Problem's going to be I think I'm going to put these because we've got these clouds that are stains on user layer 2. We're going to bump this up to 3. Then when we go to place stuff and move it around, everything's not on the same layer. And then we're going to go back in here. This should work this time. See, now we can just objects and layer 3. See, now we can fix them all. We did place those on layer 3, right? Fucking dumbass. Objects, layer 3. I'm curious. So that's not. Oh, I know why. Those were placed that weren't custom color assets. So I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to delete, 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 delete. Oops. We're going to place tables now that are colorable and have it look even more chaotic. And we're going to do the same thing, I think, with the stools. Don't like that table there. There we go. A little more chaotic. I think we're going to do the same thing with the stools. In fact, we'll do this on the stools. Now, let's see if we can find colorable. Yep. All right, what do you think? I think that looks better than we had before. We had the tables and the chairs, everything matching. I think that gives a little more life to the room. So we're good. Now we're going to go in, use our path tool. We're going to take this down pretty small. I think we're going to go with 40%. Put this on 3. And it's misbehaving again. Now watch. Path tool. Layer 3. Place it as under 40% and get rid of snap. See? Now it's going to work. So take it down to, I think that'll work. We're going to put a double fade on. And let me take a look at one thing. Yeah. Right now, we're just a matter of, let's remember where. So we can do that. See, we drop these with shadows. That's a problem. Filter, objects, and layer 3. You know, like I said, the problem with letting it drop the shadow for you is they never indicate light properly. Um, you know, and that creates consistency issues. It drops it like everything is kind of coming down with a little bit of angle all around. Um, and, you know, I just don't like that. And I think what we're going to do before we drop our shadows, we're going to come in and drop our light sources. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's place our lanterns, and we still haven't put our windows in. I think what we're going to do is drop window sills. All right. And we don't want these to block light. So we'll do 1, 2. All right, so those are allowing light, and this is how you test it. So when somebody's walking over here, you know, they'll be able to see in. Now we need objects. And this is where we can find some windows to place on our sills. Or Tessa. Oh, we need it over walls. One, two, three, four. And yes, we know they're skewed. Perfect. See, this thing keeps defaulting to the shadows on it. If you see what I mean, there should be no shadow inside of a wall like that. So it just doesn't look right. All right, light is working. Now, I'm almost thinking we're only going to put maybe one or two lanterns in here. And we're going to make it a little more moody as far as the ambiance. God damn it. Do we want that or do we want a stove? I think we want a shitty stove. Let's take it down in size a little bit. Place that there. So it's still just a little bit off. There we go. Place one there. One there. We'll give the bartender a lantern. We're going to give one lantern here and one over here. Do those by the door. Now we're going to place some lights. We're going to take the intensity down a good bit. Turn our shadows off. And say we just want this to indicate the lighting. We're going to we're not going to come in and place heavy duty lighting on anything in here because it really does get out of hand. If I'm being honest. Let's see what happens if we do this. Kind of like that. See, this is another problem we're going to have if we do it that way. We don't want this showing over through the walls. So let's see if we have another one. Kind of like that. So we're going to place these and we'll spin them. All right. So that gives us our hint of lighting across the map. We could put something here to kind of show a glow. That would be nice, but that's a little more difficult to do because we can't layer this. Say it's going to go right on top of that stuff, and there's no way. Watch, we can do this, right? So we put that there. Then we do what? Filter, lights. See, we can't move that down, so it's below there. So it's just not an option. Right now, so now we have our candles, which will light the tables individually. Then we're going to place a little bit of light, a little bit, just a little bit, tiny little bit. See, the problem there is if we have the intensity set too high, we've got multiple light sources here. Again, that's a problem we've run into before where, it really starts to multiply ridiculously. So there we go. Definitely looks a little better. There's our tables. You can see the lighting on them. A little bit of mood to the lighting. I think we'll place one. Three candles there. And then we're going to do the same thing we did with our light tool. We'll do 1, 2, 3. Now we want to stain this path a little bit. As everything else looks grungy and wrecked, we do not want this to look nice either. So we're going to go there, take the opacity down here. Need to take the size down a lot. So I think the opacity is fine, and then we need to keep it around 0.26, and that's what we're going to do for our sorting tool. Do that, that, maybe that. All right, so now the bar looks nice and grungy. There we go. We need some dishes. Gotta have the random guy eating a pie. We always have the pie guy. All right. Nope. No, thank you, Scam Likely. All right, so we'll call that room, this area done. Let's go up here and start creating the kitchen. And first floor of this map will be done. I really am curious. What did we put in? Man, we put a lot of time in just on this little freaking room. So that's probably too big. But really, I think we can get away with that. Can put that there. So put one there. Actually, I want to find a colorable shelf, if there is one. Is that a shadow? What's going on there? Oh, I know what's going on there. We had it set with the opacity down. Thinking we're going to move this down here. We'll move this to here. That's better. And we're going to do the same thing and move that. No, you know what we're going to do? We're going to move this shelf over. We're going to move a lot of shit. So let's, objects. There. That looks better. Now, we're going to start laying down storage back here. After all, it's a kitchen. There needs to be some stuff back here. So first, let's just go into here and find storage. Let's do boxes and crates first. We're going to put some crates in the corners here. So it looks like with this, we can't go with colorable assets, right? So we'll do this. Need to do this is over. It's on layer 3. We need to take the size up. Oh, that's up way too much. Need that shadow to stop defaulting to being on. Okay, I think I like that size. We're going to do that, and then we're going to move them. So that's got that. We're going to find some sacks. Not really liking this setting here. Now let's look for Yeah, we have some random stuff here we need to get rid of. All right, so what do you say? I think we need one more thing here and then we're done. I think we're good. So we'll compare. Let's compare what we have here. All right. So this is our sleeping giant inn, and that was our sleeping giant inn the first time. So I think that's a vast improvement. And we have this here because that'll actually sit on top of the map, and that'll have our shadow for the lighting. But vast improvement. Alrighty. One building done. Said next we'll do the smithy, right? Pretty sure we'll be able to tell when we get up here. I'm pretty sure this is the smithy. Yeah, we did this so it had a stone floor here, wooden floor over there. We're going to add a little bit of wear to this because, let's face it, stuff's going to have some wear. And then I need to compare to the roof, because that'll tell me where I need to put the we'll need a fireplace, and we'll need a forge. just going to drop that there. I always forget where that they store this. I know it's not there. Oops. You know what? I'm not going to worry about that. Let me take a look at something. Let me take a look at something here. So it's being ornery. Definitely going out of its way to be annoying today. All right, let's try this again. Place that. Or, I have another idea. Before we start placing these things, delete, delete. Let's start roughing up our floor like we did before. So we have that roughed. I've got to leave in like 2 minutes. So I'm going to save. All right, so I've got to drop my daughter off, and I need to run and drop off that tablet that I'm returning because it did not work with any of this the way it should have. Still can't believe I should have gone with the Huion, the cheaper tablet, because it worked perfectly. And now I don't have to worry when I get into my art programs because I know that this works with those after I've seen the reviews on that with people using it in Clip Studio and all the other ones. So we are set because this works with what I'm using. But I'm going to do that. I'll probably be back in about a half an hour, take care of the dogs, maybe drink some lunch, and then I'll get back on a map until I have to pick my daughter up again. But we'll be back, like I said, about half hour, 40 minutes after I get done some errands I have to run. But everybody, hopefully we'll catch you when we get back on. If not, see you tomorrow. And we're going to continue slowly building up all of these rooms and get this map totally freaking done. Have a great day, and we'll catch you in a bit.